actually increase our risk. I can go into that in detail. Basically, it's use or lose it. We came very, very close in the past to nuclear war based upon
information in the system, given to the system, that would have required that those missiles be launched immediately. And once launched, they're going to go wherever they're intended to go, and there's no calling them back. All of the other deterrent systems can be called back if there's an error. This one cannot. It's extraordinarily dangerous. Mr. Chairman, my apologies for getting so excited about the wrong amendment, but I'm excited about this one too.
I know you are. And it's genuine. Chair, now recognize the gentleman from Tennessee, Dr. Deja.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And to be clear, I will be speaking about Amendment 5513, but not to worry, I will also be speaking about 5510, and I'm excited about that as well. I have great respect for, and I appreciate my colleague from California's dedication to having this debate every year, but I will again oppose this amendment. I don't think we need to have a prolonged debate on this topic because this is an issue where we simply have a fundamental difference in opinion on the Sentinel program and the ICBM leg of the triad. This amendment would cut off funding, all FY26 funding, including the reconciliation funds for the Sentinel program until it reaches milestone B. But funding is necessary for the program to reach milestone B. So this amendment is really just about stopping Sentinel. As my colleague from California knows, I do not support that. The Trump administration does not support that, and the Biden administration did not support it either. We also continue to receive consistent testimony from our senior military leaders that this program is absolutely essential. So I will again oppose this effort to stop the Sentinel program. I would note that a similar amendment was rejected last year by a vote of 9 to 49. I urge my colleagues again to vote no, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back, Chair. I recognize the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Chairman, I'd ask unanimous consent to refer to the ranking member.
Ranking member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And actually, all three of these amendments that Mr. Garibaldi has are connected in one sense. I mean, one definitely deals with the overrun at the Sentinel program and the challenges that are there. Then talks about the number of ICBMs that we have to have, restrictions on that. And then we have the last one is on the pit production challenge that we have. And I think, Ms. Jacobs sort of outlined the problem here, and it is connected to the larger defense budget. We are headed towards an unsustainable fiscal path. And I realize we don't want to think about that. We just want to say, well, gosh, in an ideal world, the defense budget, we should be at 5% of GDP. So we just magically say, get to 5% of GDP, and we don't look at the details of, is that realistic? And what are we spending the money on? We are spending a massive amount of money. We are planning on spending a massive amount of money on nuclear modernization, for the submarines, for the B-21, for the pits, for the ICBMs. Can we really afford to do all of that, especially at the cost that the Sentinel is bringing our way? And I don't think we can be confident that that's not just going to keep going up, as are other programs.
Well, the more veterans retire, the more retirement spending goes up.
Is a huge one. The president has his golden dome thought, but even outside of that, we clearly have needs in the area of missile defense. We have needs to increase our basic munitions and missiles as well. Autonomous systems, we all agree, are crucial. We do not make enough of them in the United States. No one can really disagree with that fundamental point. And shipbuilding, we're way over budget on every single shipbuilding contract we have, and everyone in this committee, not everyone, most everyone in this committee seems to think that we need a lot more ships. It doesn't add up in any realistic way. So I think overall, what Mr. Garamendi is asking for us to do here,
Garamendi, the California Insurance Commissioner?
to go back and take a look at in light of
California, we might need to have to talk to John.
cost overruns on all these.
John, as soon as it's over, you need to get with the travel and get out here.
Going completely and totally bankrupt. It is a question that should be asked and analyzed. And I think these three amendments, if
Right. Yeah, we need to audit the SDLI bill.
And to be ecumenical about it, it has been a bipartisan case of wanting to just close our eyes and
There he goes again.
that this isn't happening.
Ecumenical, hiding behind religion.
Has punted on this issue. But we need to stop punting and address the costs. I think all
First of all, I would,
The Insurance Commissioner. The California Insurance Code establishes the Office of Insurance Commissioner, who is elected in the same place and manner as the governor and serves a maximum of 2 4-year terms. The Insurance Commissioner receives an annual salary of $139,189. This is a 2011 edition. The Insurance Commissioner determines the sufficiency of securities to be given by those engaged in the insurance business, and no person may transact any class of insurance business without first being certified by the Commissioner. Beyond these provisions, the Commissioner is given broad powers to directly supervise the Department of Insurance and to perform all duties under law in regulating the business of insurance in the state. The Commissioner's powers to certify compliance with applicable state law extend up to approval of insurance forms, approval of insurance company's corporate name, as a prerequisite to the Secretary of State's filing of the Articles of Incorporation, and upon request of the State Treasurer, certification of qualifications of surety insurers for state demand or time deposits or state investments in federal bonds. The Commissioner also is designated to receive and administer a $100,000 deposit from each title insurance company doing business in the state as a guarantee fund for the security and protection of title insurance policyholders. You need to come to class, Mr. John Chang. I think it's time to sell federal bonds.
Has been vastly over budget, has run into a lot of problems, and the Air Force is not doing a good enough job. But I also want to associate myself with my Nebraska colleague, Mr. Bacon's remarks about the foundational importance of the Sentinel.
What?
It is time that
Who hasn't been doing a good job?
save taxpayer dollars in the long run. It's why there has been bipartisan support for this program. And more fundamentally, it forms the foundation of our strategic defense. And I want to make that point, Mr. Garamendi, right now, because it will become relevant when my amendment comes up as well. It's a very important point that we keep in mind, and don't suddenly forget
July
we're 4 amendments down the road. At the end of the day,
July 15th, 1944. The mission for today was scrubbed. Captain Richard P. Williams, Lieutenants John J. O'Brien, William L. O'Brien, and Wilbur Wieland transferred to 12th RCD. Second Lieutenants Robert H. Bomby and Milton D. Labors promoted to first lieutenants. The EM of the squadron had a dance at the post gym. A quantity of females and beer, plus the good fellowship of all present, made for an enjoyable evening and a party long to be remembered by the men of the 423rd.
strategic forces, I respectfully disagree with my colleague from California and appreciate Mr. Bacon's remarks about how important this is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen yields amendment. Does any other member seek recognition of Mr. Garamendi's amendment? Seeing none, no further debate on the question occurs. The question now occurs on the amendment offered by Mr. Garamendi. So many in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. Opinion chair, the noes have it. The recorded vote is requested. Recorded vote is postponed. We will now consider log number 5510, 5510, R1 by Mr. Garamendi. For what purposes, gentlemen?
Decorations in July 1943. 423rd Bombardment Squadron, Hotel. Congressional Medal of Honor, Maynard H. Smith.
Gentleman from California, for the purpose of explaining his amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know what to do here. You were kind enough to get
Year prior, Squadron Diary, 423rd Bombardment Squadron, Hotel, 1943, July 15th. Today was a big day for the squadron and the group, as Secretary of War Henry Stimson came to Thurley to present the Congressional Medal of Honor to Sergeant Maynard H. Smith, who, as a ball turret gunner on Lieutenant L.P. Johnson's crew of 1 May 1943, did such an outstanding and heroic job in helping first person in the ETO to receive this medal in person. The only other award having been made posthumously.
We can talk about, well, they're just going to be tactical and on, but the reality is, if ever used, the game is over. And this amendment that I spoke to earlier is one piece of that. And I want us to inform ourselves and to ask the questions, why are we proceeding with this? My view is that we can do better to provide for nuclear deterrence than the current ICBM ground-based systems, which ultimately are extraordinarily dangerous because they are at the ready.
Because they may shoot down airliners on mistake.
And therefore,
And because today's terrorists are more likely to smuggle a nuke into the report than try to shoot it across an ocean.
For the president to make a mistake to launch or not. We've had incidents in the past that were frightening if you were to spend time learning about those incidents. They can't be recalled. So I want us to be wise. I want us to think through this one, 400, why 400? Well, because somebody wrote 400, and forevermore it's 400, without going to the details. I said I'd take a minute, Mr. Chairman. How about if I take 2.5 minutes? I yield back.
Gentlemen, yields back. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Tennessee, Dr. Deja.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I oppose the amendment which would strike a provision in the bill that prohibits reducing the nation's intercontinental ballistic missile fleet below its current size of 400 missiles. I can't answer the 400 question. Maybe 399, maybe it's 401. We live in a round number world, so it's 400. Every year since 2016, Congress has included provisions in the Defense Authorization Bill to effectively prohibit any further reduction in our ICBM force. And the logic is very simple. Nuclear threats are growing, and now is not the time to make cuts to our ICBM fleet. That was true in 2016, and is even more true today as China's ICBM forces continue to rapidly expand and may soon outnumber ours. An identical amendment was debated last year and was rejected on a strong bipartisan basis, 13 to 45. I would urge my colleagues to again oppose this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Does any other member seek recognition of Mr. Garamendi's amendment? Seeing none, no further debate. The question occurs on the amendment now offered by Mr. Garamendi. So many in favor will say aye. Opposed, no. Opinion chair, the noes have it. The recorded vote is not requested. So we will now consider log number 5466 R2 by Mr. Garamendi. For purposes, gentleman from California, seek recognition. Does he have an amendment at the desk?
I have an amendment at the desk. I want to be listening really, really closely to what's when they call up.
Okay, without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with. Chair recognizes the gentleman for the purpose of explaining his amendment.
I clearly have too many amendments before us.
Clerk will distribute the amendment.
5280. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the few moments to gather myself and reposition for the new issue. All of these nuclear weapons are built around a plutonium pit. And as we saw, as I explained with the 400 ICBMs, we are putting ourselves into a mandatory process that we're creating ourselves, perhaps without thinking through the ramifications. The manufacturing of nuclear plutonium pits is an extremely sensitive, dangerous, and extraordinarily expensive process that requires a very secure facility. That facility is now being built at Los Alamos, and pits at Los Alamos. The first, what do they call it, pit that is actually war ready was produced this year, and the process will go on. We're required.
I hear Captain Brown is like, I'm making it up again.
It's not
I
going to
hear
happen.
him making it up again.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in 2008. It's not going to happen in 2030 or even 35. It's not going to happen. There is a limitation on the number of pits that can be built under the best of circumstances at Los Alamos. And it's said to be 30, but the reality is it probably will never get to 30. So it'll be somewhat lower number. I look at my friend and colleague from South Carolina. We've gone round and round on this forever, and I greatly respect his jobs program that is being developed in South Carolina for the Savannah River facility, which is being repurposed. And we had this debate the previous decade about its purpose, and then it was decided it couldn't work for that. So it's now being repurposed, rebuilt at an extraordinary multi-billion-dollar cost to manufacture pits. There is no way, despite the gentleman's advocacy and strong support for South Carolina and pit production there, it's not going to be available to produce a pit in the next decade. Maybe in the second decade from now it could. But we're talking about a very significant construction program. Very, very expensive. And then all of the equipment, all that goes into manufacturing a pit will have to be added to that. All of which says this is a Herculean task. It is a task that is going to be time consuming.
You gonna try to take Plymouth sidearm?
We don't know the cost.
You gonna try to take Massachusetts Plymouth sidearm?
I would love to sit down with my friend and have a long conversation about, gee, is there something else we could spend money on in South Carolina that would actually benefit
Mm-hmm.
the people of South Carolina?
Yeah, if you don't inspect the container, how do you know what? Yeah, you didn't know there are drugs and other things in there.
And I'd like to find it. So what we have here is
What we have here is a customs unit.
ourselves in an untenable position by requiring the National Nuclear Security Agency to produce a certain number of pits within a specific period of time. They have failed to do that year after year. They're going to fail again next year. The law makes them a failure. And they're operating contrary to law. They're not going to produce
Look at our valiant war heroes.
required by the law that we
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going, why don't we think this thing?
Oh, we risked our lives. It was so horrible. Oh, Kuwait. Oh my goodness.
Multi-thousand pits that sit in reserve at one of our facilities. They're sitting on the bench or in the racks. They're available. Can they be repurposed for the purpose of
I don't know if you ever seen the Red Dawn with North Korea. You ever seen Red Dawn with North Korea where they have those North Koreans like just air parachuting in small towns taking it over?
It comes down to this. In my last 30 seconds, the only explanation I have found from the NNSA is we must produce the pit so that we can produce the pit. Why?
They're fearless.
Why can't we use an existing pit, one of the thousands that were available?
Why can't we get them out there to work and help?
Torn apart and put the nuclear pits on the shelf. Why? Can we do it cheaper? Can we do it better? Can we do it faster? The answer is we don't know because we're stuck on this cycle of thoughtlessness. With that, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen, you're not recognized. Tennessee, Dr. Deja.
Thank you, Chairman. And I hope my friend from California isn't offended that I'm now opposing his third amendment in a row, but I do oppose the amendment which would undermine the targets for plutonium pit reduction. The committee debated and approved a similar amendment last year, and I would urge my colleagues
I want to speak with this man.
as well. As my colleagues
I want to speak with him.
current law requires
Do you hear me?
build the production
I want to speak with Janice Brown.
production by specific dates. These targets were based on DOD requirements. The Garamendi amendment would effectively say if you're not going to meet these deadlines, you can propose your own. I disagree with
be best if you stay on the East Coast.
informs us those needs to be
I think it'd be best if you stay on the East Coast, Mr. Steffen.
I urge my colleagues to vote against this amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from South Carolina.
State of California, the Adjutant General's Office, Sacramento, June 1st. These rules and regulations prepared in the Office of the Adjutant General and under his supervision have been approved by Governor Hiram W. Johnson. They are published for the information and government of the high school cadets with a view to ensuring uniformity throughout the cadet organization. E.A. Forbes, the Adjutant General. Article 1, the law of the State of California authorizing high school cadet organizations. 1. Section 1. The male students of any high school in this state having 40 or more students, such students, 14 years of age or over, may be organized into a high school cadet company or companies of not less than 40 members each under such rules and regulations that the governing body of said school may prescribe. Said cadet company or companies shall at all times be under the guidance and control of the principal of the said school, whose duty it shall be to make regulations regarding the moral, educational, physical welfare of said cadets. Section 2. Said companies shall each have one captain, one first lieutenant, and one second lieutenant appointed and commissioned by the Adjutant General, State of California, upon the recommendation of the commandant of cadets herein provided, and with the approval of the principal and such non-commissioned officers and privates as correspond to the non-commissioned officers and privates of the infantry companies of the National Guard of California, the non-commissioned officers to be appointed and warranted by the commandant and cadets with the approval of the principal. Section 3. In any case, high school has more than one company, it shall have one cadet major, one cadet adjutant, and one battalion quartermaster and commissary. The last two mentioned officers to have the rank of first lieutenant, who shall be appointed and commissioned by the Adjutant General, State of California, upon the recommendation of the commandant of cadets and with the approval of the principal, and one sergeant major and one color sergeant, who shall be appointed and warranted by the commandant of cadets with the approval of the principal. The Adjutant General may, in his direction, organize the companies of high school cadets into one or more regiments and may commission the necessary officers and warrant the necessary non-commissioned officers of the same grades and number provided for similar organizations of the National Guard of California. Kids, this is very serious. Your fathers have been replaced. They've been led off into war, into suicide missions. They were replaced by imposters. You are to let no adult, unknown, unconfirmed, unverified adult enter your premises. You'll learn your lesson. Anyway, kids, they're coming to rape you, kids. The NFLers are coming, the National Felon League, all the sports ballers, all your heroes, all your fantasy league players, if you fail, you will be raped. You'll be raped and enslaved. Daddy's trying to help you, but these hobgoblins, these cock-goblin sodomites, it's a choice. It's right or wrong. Is heterosexual sex heteronormative gendered? Or transformative gender rocks? For these cock-goblins, these sodomites, these invaders.
Chair, now recognize the gentlelady from Pennsylvania for the purpose of the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the committee limit debate on remaining amendments to 3 minutes.
Question is on the motion to limit debate. So those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Quorum being present, guys, have the motion is agreed to. Debate will be limited to 3 minutes moving forward.
It applies only to people from California.
All right. Okay. We will now consider law number 5280R2 by Mr. Cisneros of California. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment.
Clerk will please distribute the amendment without objection. The reading of the amendment is dispensed with. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California for the purpose of explaining his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I guess I'll talk fast since I lost 2 minutes. The U.S. military's greatest asset is its people. And one of the ways we've been able to support our greatest asset is by providing them with educational opportunities. Tuition assistance has been a big part of that. I used it when I was on active duty to earn my MBA like thousands every year. Unfortunately, cuts to the Navy's budget have significantly reduced the amount of Marine Corps budget for tuition assistance is nearly 5 times as much. So many sign up to defend our nation with the expectation of getting an education in return, an opportunity to better themselves. Now, all the services have cut tuition assistance, but the cuts in the Navy have been more drastic than the others. Cuts to this program will have a negative effect on morale, retention, and recruitment. My amendment would right the clear error the Navy has made and authorize an additional $38 million for the United States Navy that can be used for tuition assistance. We can plus up these funds by taking it out of the Sea-Launched Cruise Missile Nuclear Warhead Program. The 2022 posture review stated that the program is no longer needed and has zero value. The Navy has argued against this program and worries that this program has diverted funds from other programs. The reality is that the SLCM will cost billions over time for a weapon that the Navy doesn't want, while a few $1 million towards educational benefits will have a tremendous impact while they serve and after towards our nation. And with that, I encourage my colleagues to support this amendment of plussing up the Navy's tuition assistance program, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back the chair to recognize the gentleman from Tennessee, Dr. Desjardins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mar Admins, 323/25, R101447 Zulu, Jewel 25. Subject, Marad, subject, Expeditionary Award for Excellence Award recipients. Put in contact, J.S. Morrison, I, Civ, HQMC, CD and I, NEXW. Gentex remarks. 1. The Deputy Commandant for Combat Development and Integration and the Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Warfighting Requirements and Capabilities are pleased to announce the recipients of the 2025 Expeditionary Warfare Excellence Awards, EWEA. This award recognizes the achievement of the Naval Service's top performing Marines and sailors during the calendar year 2024. Each category is highly competitive and indicative of the nominees' exceptional leadership and selfless dedication to mission accomplishment. 2. 2025 EWEA winners. 2 Alpha. The Marine Corps Expeditionary Warfare Officer of the Year is Major Jonathan Bowman, Marine Forces Central Command. Oh, YN1 Bowman. Is this for your relative? I was stashed in New Orleans, West Bank, YN1. Maybe he got promoted. Anyway, they didn't give him any assistance. Congratulations, Major Jonathan Bowman. 2 Bravo, the Marine Corps Expeditionary Warfare Staff Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year is First Sergeant Anthony Oliveira, Expeditionary Warfare Training Group Atlantic. Oliveira. I pronounced it right, I'm sorry. 2 Charlie, the Navy Expeditionary Warfare Officer of the Year is Lieutenant Commander Christopher Yee. Oh, are you related to Jeff Yee, the contractor from Jalalabad who eloped, who met a PX cashier and got her a green card and brought her to the United States? USS Somerset, LPD 25. Congratulations, Lieutenant Commander Christopher Yee. 2 Delta, the Navy Expeditionary Warfare Enlisted Sailor of the Year is Chief Information Systems Technician Joshua Balasai, Naval Special Warfare Development Group. Again, forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Josh Lasai, Bravo, Lima, Alpha, Sierra, India. 3. The award winners will be recognized at the Marine Corps Combat Development Dinner hosted by the Marine Corps Association on 27 August 2025 at the clubs at Quantico. And no host reception will begin at 1800 with dinner and the ceremony beginning at 1900. 3.1 Marine Corps awardees will wear service alphas. 3.2 Navy awardees will wear service dress blues. 4. Details regarding travel and schedule of events for award winners will be issued via separate correspondence. 5. Congratulations to those selected and all who were nominated. Your performance in this vital area is noteworthy and has directly influenced the expeditionary warfare community. 6. Release authorized by Lieutenant General Eric E. Austin, Deputy Commandant for Combat Development and Integration. Holy moly! Brandon! I didn't know Austin was Lieutenant General. So I have a landlord, and I'm not doing too well. But that's okay. Many veterans aren't doing very well. The transition is very life quite hard, especially when you're on Obama's domestic terrorist wanted list. And well, I don't know. Washington wouldn't assassinate people for voting wrong, would they?
We got the existing, and we're going to have the Columbia's soon. So I want us to think through exactly what we're doing with this. Where will it be deployed, and why will it be deployed? The issue of China comes up. We're going to deploy it as a deterrent to China. Well, that means that submarine can't be too far away from China because this SLICM, as envisioned, is not an intercontinental missile. I'm not going to give you the range. I suppose that's classified, so I won't go there. But I know it is not an intercontinental missile. And so, where will it be deployed? What are the requirements to defend that submarine? These are issues which we have never discussed here in committee, but they are profoundly important if we're going to move forward with the SLICM. The issue here of not taking money out of the SLICM and spending it on education, Representative Cisneros is absolutely correct. It's a much better use. But I want us to look below that and to spend time thinking about exactly how this works. Mr. Chairman, my 3 minutes is up.
You are overriding Chair now recognizes, is any other member seeking recognition? Seeing none, there's no further debate. The question occurs on the amendment offered by Mr. Cisneros. Those that are in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. Opinion of chair, the no is handed. A recorded vote is postponed. We will now consider log number 5527R1 by Mr. Moulton of Massachusetts. For purposes of Massachusetts recognition,
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
clerk, please distribute the amendment. Without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Massachusetts for the purpose of explaining his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment is a simple, straightforward reaffirmation of a policy that has kept our country safe for over 70 years, namely that nuclear weapons are the bedrock of our strategic stability and deterrent against a large-scale nuclear attack like hundreds or even thousands of missiles launched by Russia or China. Mutually assured destruction, an assuredly frightening concept, promotes stability. If nations know that they will get obliterated if they use nuclear weapons against us, they are never going to use them. But if Russia or China believes instead that the United States is not so vulnerable to a retaliatory strike, it makes them less likely to think twice about acting quickly, acting first, or using novel delivery methods that get around our defenses, including Golden Dome itself, before we do anything to them. That is why even
Oh my goodness. What a deployment. Well, we were in a small detachment. So the true story of now the G Forward Hotel, Naval Expeditionary Logistics Support Group Forward Hotel.
though Golden Dome may sound
That is yet to be told.
fully understand the history of missile defense and nuclear deterrence, it could actually make us less safe by upending the strategic stability. I want to be clear that this amendment addresses the narrow yet most important case in strategic stability of an all-out attack. I have and continue to support missile defense, particularly when it comes to regional security. I have also been pressing the department to more aggressively address the threat that drones pose to our military bases, critical infrastructure, and population. We have and maintain bipartisan consensus about improving
Having a rainbow at your fingertips is more than handy. It's a luxurious necessity. So the publication Gale's Global Encyclopedia of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer LGBTQ history is something I celebrate. It will be extremely satisfying for those who want to quickly find out so many reference works
But
have
great
previously
power
omitted
strategic stability is
LGBTQ
different.
history.
Consider this a different way. In the past 70 years, we've come
Yeah,
perilously
that's a
close
man.
to nuclear war over a dozen times, with radar, computer mistakes, false warnings, etc.
Oh,
A movie was written about one instance in
European
1983 when a
clergy
lowly
rights.
Russian major flagrantly
1990.
disobeyed orders to launch a full-scale
What did they
counterattack on
win?
us because he had a hunch that his warning
Information
system
is
was
queer
mistaken.
hating.
It was the knowledge that a retaliatory strike would be guaranteed that stopped him from doing it.
It gets boring
Deterrence
now.
delivers as close as we possibly can to 100%
Fine Woods.
protection, the very
Baker,
best we
Paul,
can
and
ask of any
Stanley
kind of
Joe.
missile defense is
Hello,
about
sailor.
95%, and in the case of a nuclear exchange, that 5% is an American city or two melted into glass. Or consider this. We now know that
Which
Russia is
cities?
developing a
What does it
space-based
matter?
nuclear weapon that could just simply take out Golden Dome with the push of one button. Now, I expect the counter-arguments we're about to hear is that Molten is being partisan, that this amendment represents the bipartisan consensus for 70 years, Democratic and Republican administrations, this committee, and even
What I
the
was looking
first
for.
Trump administration. If they were
There
all
was a
wrong,
story
if
that
every
we
one
had
of
a
us on this committee
100%
was wrong until
LGBTQ
Trump
submarine.
uttered the words Golden Dome on the political campaign trail,
Oh,
then make the case. This amendment
Captain
doesn't come from a
Bledsoe.
political rally. The idea it corrects does.
What is it?
I would love to keep going for the remainder of my statement, if I may.
Time's expired.
Oh, no.
Chair, I recognize the gentleman from Tennessee, Dr. Desjardins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I certainly respect my ranking member, and I know where his heart lies, but I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment. The
That's so
underlying bill
sad.
contains a provision that would update our missile defense policy.
Frank Cable Sailors, hoorah!
January executive order on missile defense.
Hoorah! I'm
which
Frank
has now
Cable
become
Dead Sea.
Golden Dome. This amendment would insert language from the current statute, effectively retaining the existing policy. And the issue here is whether U.S. missile defense should remain focused on the threat from rogue states and unauthorized or accidental launches, and explicitly refrain from countering missile threats from China
Leech.
or Russia. I agree with
Petty Officer
President Trump
Leacher
that
is a
this
chief
approach
leech
is
now.
outdated and
You
support
can
this
verify
policy
me.
for a defending against all threats regardless of their source.
Do they have a
After all,
safety officer
Russia
on
and
board?
China have not matched U.S. restraint and do not observe any similar policy limitations when it comes to defending their territory. Russia's missile defenses are specifically designed to defend against an attack by the United States. China has rapidly developed missile defenses
Oh my
as
gosh,
well,
sticky
with
keyboard.
us in mind. This outdated policy has not made us safer. It has not created strategic stability. Instead, it has left our homeland vulnerable while our adversaries increase their capability to hold us at risk. I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, I recognize the gentleman from California, Mr. Garamendi.
Mr. Chairman, my colleague, Mr. Moten, was in the midst of making a profoundly important argument that he was unable to finish because of the time limitation. I yield my 2 minutes 49 seconds.
Thank goodness. I was waiting with bated breath.
Sorry, this is kind of old. This is a POM he sent me from 2006. It's April 2006, so it's a little outdated. If anybody wants to get a reunion, see, Navy isn't really. We're sticklers for like little tradition. It's tradition. Yeah, you can't retire. A lot of people just want to go get their retirement page like the Air Force. He's like, give me my pension. You know, but it's just improper to retire somebody without the. Can you get that? Oh my goodness, how do I focus that thing? The Department of Navy, and then our USS Frank Cable, AS-40 Detachment C.
Announced plans to dramatically increase their offensive capabilities.
There we go. Don't worry, our order of the day, you know, it's like might be a little leaking, but if you get a time machine, you can go find out that we have lunch at 11:30, 12:30. Then we have training, and you muster. Oh, it's a PT day. Anyway, commanding officer, Commander Peter Bell. Executive officer, DCC Jeffrey Schwartz. Administrative officer, EMT Pedram Abulgasum.
Defense said,
Oh yeah,
we
he
want
changed his name now. He changed his name to his good Christian name.
you're going to have holy terror raining down on
Readiness
you if you try
Officer
anything on us.
PH1
Not
Kevin Leach.
just that we're going to sit here and, do our best to
Repair
defend.
Department Head HC1 Brian Anderson. Command Crew Counselor DCC Jeffrey Schwartz.
Quote, the United States relies on nuclear
I don't know if this has. I have another one that has like all our people where you sometimes make phone calls and see who's like still available. Travel claims. All travel claims must be submitted to the arrest center no later than 2 days after returning from AT or IDTT. File travel claims with cable. If you are instructed to file your travel claim with the cable, direct the POIC to contact IC1 Gonzalez.
will hold. The language in this amendment is exactly the language that we came to a bipartisan agreement on last year and was enacted into law. This year we can have
Thank you to
outcome and
Winters for his informative presentation on USS Great Cable. Beginning this past March, we will now have several members give an overview presentation to the unit.
Of strategic defense, and it's the right thing to do for our troops and our country. Mr. Garamendi,
We see ET2 Sprague for ideas and suggestions.
27.
Oh no, what happened to my thing? Why did it freeze up?
I'm having trouble containing myself, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, my camera. Well, it's hot. I don't have air conditioning here, so my electronic equipment tends to overheat.
Gentleman yields back. Any other member seek recognition on Mr. Moulton's amendment?
All right, I'm still moving around even my camera.
Occurs on the amendment offered by Mr. Moulton. So many as are in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. Opinion chair, the noes have it. Noes have it, and the amendment's not agreed to.
Oh, there we go.
A recorded vote is requested. Recorded vote is postponed. We will now consider logging.
I'm really curious.
By Mr. Moulton. For what purposes?
Well, not that kind of curious.
Recognition.
I have an amendment, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment at the desk.
Where'd it go?
Please distribute the amendment without objection.
Where'd it go? It said Frank Cable.
Dispense with the chair recognizes gentleman for the.
I know I saw Frank Cable. Oh, there it is, right there at the top. Sorry, I'm overheating a little bit.
Through my notes here, just give me 1 second. This amendment would prohibit the department from spending money on the space-based missile defense interceptor architecture touted in the president's Golden Dome announcement until the department tells us.
Hey, we're making history, guys. I mean, girls, boys, and gals. Oh no. Another air page.
This year, in every Strategic Forces Subcommittee hearing,
Yeah,
I have
well,
raised
what
space-based
sounds
interceptors, and not
removed.
a single witness could answer fundamental questions that
Wow.
we need to know before spending unknown hundreds of
Why
billions
did it go
of
away?
taxpayer dollars on a program that might not work and that might make us less safe. The Congressional Budget Office, in response to Senate Strategic Forces Subcommittee's bipartisan request, just released its updated cost estimate for deploying space-based interceptors. The 20-year cost ranged from $160 to $542 billion.
Why did it go away?
That range.
It's only July 6th. Oh, 10 years ago. Never mind.
Todd Harris,
Never mind.
fellow at the American Enterprise
Yeah,
Institute,
expecting something that long ago to still
recently
exist.
said that, quote, while the costs have come down and the technology has matured, the physics of space-based interceptors has not changed. Most importantly, multiple witnesses testified to the subcommittee that there have been no significant policy deliberations on the impact of Golden Dome on strategic stability. There's a lot of classified reporting on the Russian and Chinese responses to this, and let's just say that none of it makes us sleep better at night. It's an invitation to an arms race. Further, we know that Russia is developing a nuclear weapon to be placed in low Earth orbit, the same orbit that these space-based interceptors will be. So if Russia decides that they want to destroy U.S. missile defenses, they can do so.
Nobody really
with
cares
one
about
button.
history of preserving
It's very hard to
documents
imagine
anymore.
that they're going to launch
They say it's all digital.
nuclear attack on us.
What's the use? It's
and not
all
push
digital.
that one
Like, they,
button.
you can give it a
It's
time.
also
You
somewhat
give it
ironic
time.
that Dr. Mike Griffin, former Trump administration Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, who was the last official responsible for overseeing a space-based missile defense concept, recently said, quote, in most cases, you do not have a shot from space at an ICBM in the boost phase. You can't get to it with reasonable probability, and by reasonable probability, I would say greater than.
Yeah, my address. I just see my address. Or just the deer cabin.
All the chaos of DOGE, from
Oh,
creating
yeah,
jobs
okay,
in
never
state
mind.
and DoD and even the Nuclear Security Administration, from programs that
Oh, look
we
at
know
here.
work,
We're to vote for,
saving somewhere around $100 billion.
oh,
It's
Zima.
incredible that we would throw $500 billion of taxpayer monies to the wind, or I guess more accurately, into space,
Well,
when we don't know it will work. So we should simply exercise our oversight
extra,
responsibility
extra.
and
Read all
understand the
about it.
feasibility, the cost, and the actual effect of a system this big before letting the department get to it.
New
That's just our
Osaka raid.
responsibility in Congress, and I think we should exercise it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thursday, June 7,
Chairman,
1945.
Tennessee, Dr. Desjardins.
Thank you, Chairman.
New Osaka raid tops a
Amendment.
bad day
Will
for
this
NIPS and
amendment
all
to
Pacific
the
Press.
Defense Authorization Bill
Pearl Harbor,
be
June
suspended
7th,
to
UP.
respect
Allied Armed
reconciliation
Forces
funds,
struck a mighty air blow at the
the
Japanese
President's
industrial
Goal
center of
Recognition
Osaka
Bill.
today,
As
brought
it's written,
final
the
victory on
amendment will affect
Okinawa
immediate
within their grasp
consideration of
and
space
brought in the
bases
grip
and
on the
its
China coast
capabilities.
opposite Okinawa to
Strongly
more than
calling
100
attention to the
miles.
fact that it prohibits
By
any
land,
design
sea,
work
and
from
air,
being
the
done
Allies
on
were
space-based
pressing through
infrastructure until
the
the life
preliminaries
cycle
to the
costs and
decisive
results for the
assault
system
on
have been
Japan
reviewed.
proper.
There is simply no
Super
way
force
for
and
the
fighters,
Department
nearly
of
600
Defense
strong, hit Osaka
It's
for the
impossible
second
to
time in a
estimate
week.
life cycle
The
costs
big
of the
bombers
system
poured
being
2,500
designed
tons
and
of
placed.
fired
The result
high
of this
explosive
amendment
missiles
would
into the
take
city.
would be to
Clouds
take
obscured the
space-based
results.
missile defense
The returning airmen said they
capabilities
blanketed
to support the
on
President's
Okinawa. The
vision of a
groggy
next-gen
survivors of the
missile
Japanese
defense
garrison
system.
were
And I think
clamped
we
in a
should be
pocket
open
of
to
25
space-based
square miles
capabilities being
by
a
the
part
U.S.
of that.
10th
I
Army.
urge my colleagues to oppose
Tokyo
this
radio
amendment.
said they were about finished off.
Back.
Within a few days, it
Yield
seemed the
back. The
Americans
chairman
would be
recognizes
free
the
to
member from
rush
Colorado, Mr. Crank.
the conversion of the Big Island into the Keystone Base for the showdown attack on Japan.
Go ahead, Mr. Crank.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Manila furnished a
I
prime
wanted to
sign
point
that
out I do
plans for the
oppose
next
the
major phase
amendment.
of the war in the Pacific were shaping up. There was announced that General Joseph W. Stilwell visited the Southwest Pacific and conferred with General Douglas MacArthur and his staff. The conference of Stilwell, commander of ground forces of the United States, and General and MacArthur, commander of ground forces in the Pacific, gave the Japanese a new addition to their growing list of things to worry about. Vinegar Joe, Stilwell knows something about. The Japanese were in his campaign in Burma and his former command of U.S. forces at the China-Burma-India theater. His contribution to MacArthur's knowledge and experiences in the Pacific meant bad news for Tokyo. On the Asiatic mainland, Chinese troops licked Japanese reserves, rushed in to the coastal strip opposite Okinawa, and won control of better than 100 miles of coastline.
Stated, quote, the United States should develop and field homeland integrated air and missile defense capabilities that can deter and defeat coercive attacks
This
by
few daily
Russia
news
and China.
tonight. Attend the
It went
big
on
U.S.
to call
Marines
for
War Bond stage and
significant
film show at
additional
Broadway
investments
Theater.
in advanced, potentially game-changing missile defense defeat capabilities, including space-based and directed energy.
Soldier asked end one-day marriage. Shandy Davis filed suit June 6th in Superior Court to end a one-day marriage to Madeline Davis. Davis charged extreme cruelty. The couple married April 10, 1942 in Siskiyou County and separated April 11, 1942 when the plaintiff went overseas with the armed forces. There is one child, the issue to said marriage. Attorney for plaintiff is J. Everett Barr.
Capabilities, unquote. Again, this
Divorce
is
asked
the
for
view
wife's
of
cruelty.
the
Charging
bipartisan
extreme cruelty,
commission.
Stacey E. Long filed suit for divorce against Betty A. Long in Superior Court June 6th. The couple married in Chillicothe, Missouri in December 28, 1940 and separated June 5, 1945. There are no children or community properties involved. L. N. Lorenzen of Mount Shasta is the attorney for the plaintiff. Howard Decree. Ida Alice Howard was awarded an interlocutory decree of divorce from J. Howard in Superior Court, June 5. Ms. Howard was granted custody of two minor children.
Foundational assumption that the world is currently stable, calm, and peaceful geopolitical landscape. The problem
Public dance for
is that
Marines
that's not
tonight
the
after
world
bond
that we're
show.
living in right now.
An admission-free public dance will be given at the Wairika Masonic Hall tonight for U.S. Marines who will appear on the stage of the Broadway Theater tonight in the 7th War Bond Show. The affair will be sponsored jointly by the Broadway Theater and the War Bond Sales Committee. It is expected to start at 9:30 o'clock with Bunny Rose Orchestra furnishing music. Men and women of this community are invited. Chairman William Shepard said, regardless of whether they attend the Bond premiere at the Broadway tonight.
Our adversaries have already done everything they can to hold our territory.
When the Marines had to raise their own money.
And I would say, my friend
lest we ever be returning these horrible times when Marines had to raise their own money by dancing, dancing on the stage.
That might have been a good time to have a space-based system that could have defended the United States of America. Golden Dome doesn't jeopardize
OPA
regional
tries
stability.
to
Golden
placate
Dome is a way
meat
to
industry.
respond to these threats
Bubbles under
and
fire
restore
changes pricing
strategic
plan.
stability.
Washington, June
And yet,
7th,
this
UP.
amendment
The
would take
administration,
space-based
in an
missile
effort to
defense
appease Senate foes, has
capabilities
offered to put the
completely off
meat
the table.
industry on
I
a
oppose
special
that.
price
We
control
should be
basis.
open to
It
all
was
options.
learned today.
And last thing I'd
OPA
say,
Chief Chester
one of these
Bowles,
following things must be
in a letter
true.
to Senate President
Either
Kenneth
current
McKellar,
air and missile defense
D.
architecture
Tennessee, promised
can
that
protect the
OPA
homeland,
would see that the
or
products of
it
each of the
can
three
protect
main
the
groups of
homeland,
meat
in which
animals,
case we have to kind
cattle
of
and calves,
assume
hogs
that our
and lambs,
adversaries are pursuing new
that's
technologies
cool.
to defeat that current architecture. I urge my
Maybe a
colleagues to
cow and
vote no,
something.
and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Garamendi.
Three main groups of meat animals, cattle and
Thank you,
calves,
Mr. Chairman, and members of the
hogs,
committee. Thank you for your
and
indulgence
lambs. Oh,
on
there's
these several
Thomas.
issues. Mr. Bolton
Sorry, AI
has proposed
transcribers.
something that is
Are
profoundly
each
important
separately considered
about
on
the
a
future,
profitable basis.
and it is
This would amount to an
important, his
abandoning
argument is
the
actually
overall
important
profit
in the
basis
past.
on which OPA has
Not just the
regulated the
nuclear
meat industry.
issues,
Packers have complained that
but
this contributes to the
every
meat
one of our
shortage.
military
Bowles'
offensive systems,
offer was learned by the
whatever
United
it happens
Press
to be.
as the
Take
Senate went into its second
Abrams
day
tank.
of debate on a bill which would extend price control until July 1,
Wow,
1946.
that is
The
really
present act
interesting.
expires June 30th. McKellar had
Until
prepared an amendment for the special treatment of
$500
the meat
drone
industry
can take it
and
out.
planned to offer it during Senate consideration of the
Oh,
bill to continue price
how did
control
that
for another
happen?
year.
Offense,
Bowles
defense,
said in his letter that both
offense,
War
defense,
Mobilization
back and
Director
forth.
Fred M.
And
Vinson
we're
and
going to
Economic
deal with that
Stabilizer
in
William
every
H.
one of
Davis
our
had approved the offer.
systems, whether it's an Abrams
Chairman
tank
Elmer
or
Thomas D. Oakbrook
nuclear
of the
missile.
Senate Agricultural
I would
Committee has
ask the
already put
committee
before
to
the Senate an
consider
amendment
the
asking for
history
abandonment of the overall
in the
profit
nuclear
basis,
enterprise.
not only for the meat industry,
Star
but for
Wars,
all
Reagan,
other
Star Wars
agricultural products.
set off the debate about a nuclear confrontation in space. And we've been dealing with that ever since along the way. And it has been added by the Bush administration repealing the
Humidity's
Anti-Missile
taking a
Defense
toll on these
System
papers.
Treaty that immediately
Siskiyou
led
Daily, Wednesday,
to
July 10, 1946.
Russia and
Labor
some
leader
later
succumbs to
China
heart attack.
saying,
Point
oh,
Lookout, New York, July 10th,
well, we
UP.
have to be able to
Sidney
defend,
Hillman, a
we
Lithuanian
have to be
immigrant who
able to
rose to power in
overcome.
American labor
And
and
more
politics,
recently,
died at his
the
home of a heart
Obama
attack at 8:40
strategic
a.m. EDT today.
arms
He
system,
was 59.
which is about to
Son of a
expire.
small trader and
Every
grandson
one
of a
of
rabbi,
these arms
Hillman
control
came to America at the
issues
age of 20. He
is a
immediately became
result
active in
of
labor circles and
an
moved
offensive
upward to
defense.
the
It
presidency of the
turns out if
powerful
you're playing defense,
Amalgamated
you're
Clothing
likely
Workers
to
Union and the
lose.
chairmanship
Which
of the
brings us back
Political
to the
Action Committee of
offense.
the Congress of
We
Industrial
really need to think
Organization.
through this very,
He
very
held both of
carefully.
these
Golden Dome
positions
plays directly
at his
into
death.
this by creating a massive,
Cattle prices soared to
extraordinarily
new highs.
expensive, and
Cattle prices
ultimately
soared to new Chicago high.
insufficient,
Chicago,
inadequate
July 10th, UP. Chicago's
defensive
cattle
system
prices
against
soared to a
missiles
top of
was
$23
guaranteed
per hundredweight
somebody out
today,
there is going to
setting
figure
a
out a
new
way to get
all-time
around
high
it.
at this market.
For example,
Two loads of choice
take a
steers
container
sold
that's
at the
coming in
top
from some
price.
port somewhere
Earlier,
out
one load of
and
1,600
bring
pound
that
steers
container
sold at a
into New
record
York River or into
$27.75
Albany Harbor
per
with a nuclear
hundredweight, a
weapon
new high at
on
that
the
time.
cheap.
Steers
So
wearing
let's be aware of offense, defense.
1,337 to
We will lose this war,
1,507 pounds
Mr.
sold at
Bolton.
prices averaging
Amendment is
22
extremely important in that it focuses on
$60.
that relationship.
Cattle generally were
And
higher at
arms
Chicago,
control.
with most of them
Thank you.
selling at
Gentleman's time has expired.
$18.75
Any
to
other members?
$22.
Gentleman
Meanwhile, the
from
U.S.
New
Department of
Jersey, Mr.
Agriculture
Wilcox.
reported
Thank you, Chair.
at Washington that the meat production under
Well, each
federal
one has dealt with
inspection
Golden Dome in many
to
ways is
total
remarkable.
149 million pounds
It's to
for
be
the week ended
replicated
July
at a
6th,
larger event
the
for
first week
all
after
of
the
us.
removal of
But
OPA
remember,
controls.
Golden Dome did not keep it. If a nuclear missile gets through our Golden Dome, you pray God it's not your city that one slips through. I yield my remaining time to Mr. Bolton.
It's an incredibly important point from my colleague from New Jersey, and I also want to respond to the thoughtful questions from my colleague from Colorado. first of all, that Russian officer, to cite your example, Mr. Frank, look, if he thought that he could fire a few missiles at us and they would just get shot down,
July
he probably would
24th,
have split the difference
1941.
and said, no, I'm not going to completely disobey orders. I'll respond. After all, that is the
Anzac
Russian
Conquerors.
doctrine, escalate to de-escalate. But it's because he knew that the bedrock of our strategic defense is mutually assured destruction that he didn't do it. It was, in fact, pulling out of missile defense in the early 2000s under President Bush that led to the dramatic
Look at new
increase
international
in
trucks.
arms, including the development of
Distinctive
hypersonics
beauty,
by Russia and
record-breaking
China, as
economy.
documented in several of our
In every flowing modern
If
line
you
and
look at
every
the charts
detail
of
of
nuclear
advanced
weapons
engineering,
over
these
time,
great new international
we
trucks tell
had
you their
only
own
more
story.
nuclear weapons in the world back in the
New
1960s
power
and
and
70s,
speed,
for example,
new
were
strength and
created
endurance,
as a
new
result
performance and economy.
of
The
that
new
treaty established in the early
the new
70s
K-Line
that already both have
Internationals.
arms control agreements
Here is an
for, again,
ultra-modern
nuclear
product
weapons
superbly
numbers down
qualified
on both
to
sides.
advance the high
Germany
reputation
just
performance
recently
that
agreed
international trucks have
risks
maintained
nuclear
for more than
proliferation,
30
and the
years.
likelihood that nuclear
And rest
stage
assured,
weapon goes up.
these new trucks are built to
Weapons goes up,
deliver.
the more
New
nuclear weapons
international
we have.
truck
So
engines
the
drive
goal
these
for
new
all of us
internationals. If you're a
will
truck
be to
man,
reduce nuclear
the name
proliferation
Green Diamond Engine will soon be linked in
in
your
this
mind
phase
with
of
greater
wars.
power and performance
Now, the
combined
way
with
that
greater
Russia
fuel economy.
has made clear they
It's
want to
exclusively
respond
international.
is
There are
by
new
doing
double
just
anchor
this,
hydraulic brakes,
using
sealed beam
novel
headlights,
delivery methods.
longer easy riding springs, safety
They've
glass
already
throughout, a
publicly
new
declared
all-steer
that their
safety comfort cab, and
sea-based
many other outstanding features.
nuclear-powered torpedo
And as
is
always, the new
arriving, for
internationals
example,
are all
in New
truck
York
trucks,
Harbor to
built
blow
better
up
than ever to give you
one
better trucking
space-based
service
launch
at
that we're
lower
supposed to do.
cost
How
per
about that?
ton and per mile.
Maybe
Ask
that's
the
what
international
breaks
dealer
through.
or branch to demonstrate these trucks to your full satisfaction. Meanwhile, write for a catalog which will give you all the details about this
And by the
great
way, the
new
bipartisan
international
commission you
line.
cited
International Harvester
emphasized the
Company,
importance of
180 North Michigan Avenue, Chicago,
once
Illinois.
getting there, didn't
See the
know
new Green Diamond engine.
about the Russian space-based nuclear weapon that can eliminate that $500 billion of taxpayer money with the push of one button.
Ooh, champion champions.
Didn't know about that.
My own Brucey looks down his
Wonder where
aristocratic
George
nose
is today.
on a silver cup he copped from 2,547 competitors at the Westminster Kennel Club show. My own Brucey is top dog at the nation's top show for a second straight year.
Offered by Mr. Mo. Some of these in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. Opinion of the noes have it. The motion is requested to
No
postpone.
404
We
page
will now
knockdown on
consider
here.
number 5409R2 by Mr. Turner of Ohio. For what purposes, gentlemen, seek recognition?
Oh,
Will the clerk please distribute the amendment without objection? Reading the amendment
destroyer.
dispense with. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio for the purpose of explaining the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The chair will grant opportunities to speak concerning my
In wardroom, Commander F.D. Kirtland, captain of Breckenridge, and officers have a comfortable living dining room. They are served Navy Wednesday, rice, and curry. Fiddle board is laid over wardroom table for weeks at a time during rough weather to keep food and china from scattering on deck. Each officer has his own stateroom. General inspection on forecastle deck ignores the fact that men are dressed in dungarees. On bigger ships, uniform of the day, undressed blues or whites is rigidly enforced. What's that? Call for Philip Morris. Oh no. Phil, did you inhale? All smokers do, and sometimes, and it's very much to your interest, to get this. Oh, I.W. Harper, Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Appreciate the thoughtfulness of the gentleman from Ohio and appreciate his withdrawal. The amendment is withdrawn.
Oh.
We now
You know that back in you know the number of people who had television in 1955?
4849.
I think it was 10%.
For what purposes, gentleman from Guam?
How many people had television in 19? Was there television in 1941?
Will the clerk please
Do you know that in 19 that prior to televisions in every living room, people would go and they would go to movie theaters. What we call movie theaters, people would go and they watch newsreels to see what's going on in the world. newspapers, magazines, and
that is
movie
deeply
theaters.
personal to my constituents.
That's
The
where
inclusion
people
of
would go to get their
Radiation Exposure Compensation Act,
news.
RECA. For decades, the people of Guam have endured the consequences of U.S. nuclear testing
The
in
shadow of
Guam.
Adolf Hitler and his army
Government assistance from
falls
justice.
across the
Between
Balkans.
1946 and 1962,
Last
the
month,
United
British
States
Lieutenant
detonated
General Sir James
67
Handyside
nuclear weapons
Marshal
in the Channel
Cornwall
Islands,
reviewed
just
these
400
Turkish troops
miles from
that
Guam.
Britain hopes will fight the
Radioactive
German army.
fallout from those tests did not stop at the international borders. It traveled across the Pacific, where when deposited into the soil and water,
The job before
experts
Adolf
took
Hitler,
bodies and lives
as
from
before every
millions.
first-class general, is to reduce his
This
problem of
fallout
conquest to
inflicted
the
damage
simplest
that
terms.
was not only
That means that he
physical,
must overrun
but
the British
emotional
Isles if
and
he expects to
generational.
win.
Families
But
that
meanwhile, he is
suffered acute
surrounded and
waves of
strangled by the
cancer
British Empire.
diagnoses without
Last
clear
week, his
answers,
solutions
without
for his problem poured
compensation,
across the front
and with
pages of the
little
world.
more than silence
Westward,
from
Hitler
federal
sent his
government.
planes again over England.
I speak
Eastward,
today
he
not
massed
as
his
as
reserve
a member of
troops
Congress,
against any
as a
possibility
son of
that
Guam.
Soviet Russia
I speak
might
for the
give him the final
survivors,
double
the
cross.
caregivers, and the
Southward, he
widows
lavished
who have
troops
waited
and
too
airplanes on
long.
Italy and
I
arranged a
speak for
meeting
those
between
who are
Spain's
no longer
Franco
with us,
and
those
France's
who died before their
Pétain
stories could be
to
heard,
feel out the
or their
alternative plan of
suffering
assaulting the
acknowledged.
Rock of Gibraltar
Guam remains
and
one of
closing the
those
western
jurisdictions
Mediterranean.
with confirmed exposure to nuclear fallout that has been left
Oh, to be
out
just a
of RECA.
humble, simple
Federal
high
agencies,
school
including
teacher.
National Cancer Institute,
Oh,
have
I
not
didn't want to be a high
documented
school teacher.
the
But
island's
college,
exposure, yet
to
our
be up
people
there, to be
remain
a,
excluded
just like,
from the very program intended to
my
provide
goodness. Why can't we just
restitution
hang
to
out and be
outweigh
friends
the
in the
communities
faculty lab,
harmed by our
faculty
nation's
staff again?
nuclear energy.
It is so
We are now
I
asking for
hurt.
special we are not asking for special treatment. We are asking to be treated equally, to be seen as Americans who carry the burden of national security and who deserve the same recognition and compensation extended to others. This is not just a matter of eligibility, it is a matter of moral obligation. It is about whether we, as a nation, are willing to confront uncomfortable truths and deliver long overdue justice for those who were placed in harm's way without their knowledge or consent. The window to act is closing. Time is running out for many of our survivors. If Congress does not act now, we risk leaving behind yet another generation of families still waiting, still suffering, still unheard. I respectfully urge my committee to support the amendment to include Guam and RECA. Let this be the year we say Guam is no longer invisible. Let this be the moment we deliver the recognition and relief that our people have earned. Mr. Chair, I acknowledge this amendment is not in order and respectfully withdraw it from consideration. Gentleman withdraws his amendment. I withdraw my point of order. We will now consider log number 5176R1 by Mr. Sorensen of Illinois. For what purposes the gentleman from Illinois seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Will the clerk please distribute the amendment without objection? The reading of the amendment is dispensed with. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Illinois for the purposes of explaining his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment would solidify the existing exemptions to OPM's hiring freeze on the Department of Defense. But like so much in this bill, let's talk about why this is so important. In February, the administration put a hiring freeze into effect for the Department of Defense, even as the world becomes more dangerous. Now, a month later, a memo came out that listed exempted from the hiring freeze. Now, this is important because we must remain ready for everything. And my amendment would codify this list for 2026. The list includes educators, child care workers, technicians, firefighters, and medical staff on our bases. These jobs are essential. They're also my neighbors who work at the Rock Island Arsenal in the Quad Cities. At the Arsenal, we're 3D printing, we're casting metal at our foundry, we're developing new technology, you name it, we're probably already doing it. Now, these are just two pieces of a drone that are manufactured by workers at the Joint Manufacturing and Technology Center at Rock Island. But these parts are being made using new state-of-the-art technology never used before, developing components that are necessary for American success on the battlefield of the future. This is non-controversial stuff. This amendment also allows the workers supplying medium to large caliber ammunition at the Iowa Army Ammunition Plant in Burlington, Iowa. It helps workers keep their fighter jets ready for the next mission in Ogden in Utah.
It helps workers at Tobiana Army Depot near Scranton, Pennsylvania, because they're going to put the inner workings and sensors into the drones that we manufacture at Rock Island. If we want readiness, we must make sure that our organic industrial bases have the ability to make their own hiring decisions. My amendment does nothing more than codify the administration's existing exemptions to the hiring freeze. It is essential to readiness and ultimately our military safety. I urge all of my colleagues to support this common sense amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes himself. Although I am in agreement with Mr. Sorensen and the Secretary of Defense that these positions are vital to national security and should be exempt from the hiring freeze, there is absolutely no reason to put what is already policy into statute. This amendment unnecessarily restricts the President and SecDef from managing the personnel in DoD. I oppose all amendments to codify hiring exemptions as unnecessary limitations on the President and Secretary of Defense's authority to dynamically manage their workforce. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Pennsylvania, Ms. Houlihan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I also very much support this number 5176 because anyone who is in the military or who has been in the military knows how essential that our civilian counterparts are to the successful execution of our mission. The Trump administration slashed the federal workforce very chaotically, eliminating thousands of roles that are essential to military operations as well as remote work options for military spouses. And that doesn't make our military or our country safer or stronger or more prosperous. And the most recent reductions in force in the State Department and the rescission process are prime examples of that. Expelling thousands of experts and cutting millions of dollars of essential programs is disastrous for our national security. But the administration continues to do just this. Our military does not exist in a vacuum. It needs civilian support, and the administration's actions across the federal government will undoubtedly impact our military readiness. It is for that reason that I support this amendment. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are in agreement. I oppose this amendment from the gentleman from Illinois. I recognize that these positions are vital and should be exempt from a hiring freeze. However, there is no reason to put what is already policy into statute. This amendment unnecessarily restricts the President and Secretary of Defense from managing personnel in their agency. If we were to sufficiently crew our ships in the future, this would prevent the Secretary of Defense from properly managing his force because Congress made a blanket rule restricting his authority. Any amendment that codifies hiring exemptions unnecessarily limits the President and Secretary of Defense authority to manage their workforce effectively, so I urge my colleagues to vote no. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from New Jersey, Ms. Sherrill.
Jackson crack.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I speak today in strong support for my colleague's amendment that
Mr.
enshrines
Dorsey,
certain protections for our DoD civilians into law, which I
social
think
media
is completely
target
necessary given
veterans,
the work of
patriotic,
this committee to
heterosexual
try to
veterans,
manage and mitigate
to
the
get them into
complete
six-year
incompetence
marriages
coming
like you.
from the
Remember,
Secretary
Jack
of
Dorsey's
Defense
gay
and this
married.
administration when it comes to
I don't hate
DoD-related
homosexuals.
matters. The Trump administration
Just the
slashed
newspapers
the
used to
civil
report
service is
divorces,
not just an
marriages,
attack on
births,
government workers,
and now
it's a direct
marriage
threat to our national
license are
security
top
and to the
secret in
economic
California.
stability of communities like mine in New
Do
Jersey.
they not want to
At
see your
Picatinny
husband is
Arsenal,
dating?
we have engineers, science, and support staff
How do we
who
go
are
from a
building
time
the
where
future of our national
during the
defense,
freedom?
developing the
How do
weapon
we go from a
systems
time
our
where
service members
because he was
rely
being
on to
divorced and
stay
married?
safe
It's
and
hard
to
to
succeed.
it's hard to date.
Picatinny
You
is
could
a
be an
vital
adulteress.
hub for U.S. military
Yeah, it's really
innovation,
easy to be an adulteress.
especially in advanced
But then
munitions and
again,
armaments that keep our troops safe
if
and
you're having
mission
premarital
ready.
sex by
Cutting
biblical
civil
standards, that's
service
adultery.
roles here directly weakens our military's ability to develop, test, and deliver cutting-edge weaponry. Many of our civil servants have had years of specialized training in metallurgy, physics, and chemistry, some of it at the postgrad level at the Picatinny Armament School that I'm working to get accredited and which has graduated 41 master's degree recipients and 2 PhDs. So in delivering these cuts, we will
They
cut
require
our,
masters to work the
we will
farms.
harm and weaken our military's ability to develop, test, and deliver cutting-edge weaponry, not just today, but for years to come. slashing civil service positions, risk shifting critical expertise to private contractors, driving up cost, and reducing institutional knowledge within the government. Maintaining a robust civil service at Picatinny ensures that the U.S. retains strategic control over weapons development and innovation. Cutting civil service jobs at Picatinny is not just an attack on New Jersey workers, it's an attack on our national security. And as someone who has served her country, I know we need to strengthen, not weaken, our defense capabilities. I'll fight to protect every job and every innovation effort at Picatinny because America's security depends on it. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Does any other member seek to speak on Mr. Sorenson's amendment? There is no further debate. The question occurs on the amendment by Mr. Sorenson. So many as are in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. Opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
Oh, Lawrence or Arabia.
The recorded votes requested. The recorded vote is postponed.
Ooh, what's this one?
We will now consider log
True
number
Grit.
5606 by Mr.
1969, Paramount Pictures.
Gentleman from Virginia seek recognition.
Who's in the cast? Rooster Cogburn, John Wayne,
Clerk will
They do.
distribute the amendment.
Glenn
Without
Campbell,
objection, the
Matty
reading of the
Ross,
amendment is dispensed
Tim
with.
Darby,
The chair recognizes the gentleman
Emmett
from Virginia
Quincy,
for the purpose of explaining
Jeremy
his
Slate,
amendment.
Ned Pepper,
Mr. Chair.
Robert
During my
Duvall,
25-year army
Moon,
career, I had the privilege
Dennis
of serving as a
Hubbard,
paratrooper infantry officer,
Gaudy Alford, writer,
and I had the honor of serving as deputy
Cole,
legal advisor
G.
of National
Stonewall,
Security Council
Sir
7.
Arthur Martin,
I got a
Tom
chance to work
Cheney,
with
Jeff
inspector
Corey,
generals across
based on a novel by
different
Charlie
departments and agencies.
Portis,
And our inspectors general
screenplay,
are skilled professionals.
Marguerite
This
Roberts,
amendment aims to protect
director
those who
Henry
conduct
Hathaway,
vital
producer
investigations
Hal Wallace.
and for the DoD
Facts.
itself.
Wayne received his first Oscar after 40 years in the business.
To the administration is
The
not
last scene in the movie was considered by many
determination
critics to be
to
Wayne's
prevent further
cinematic
decimation of this
epitaph.
essential oversight
Running time, 2 hours, 8 minutes.
Importantly, Congress has recently asked the OIG to investigate the use
Synopsis.
of classified networks. We've
True
spoken about
Grit,
it a number of times today.
based on a novel of the same name. In its simplest form, it's about a sweet little
This
14-year-old
directly
girl
impacts the Secretary of
whose
Defense.
father is murdered,
Shared information about military
and then who
operations
befriends the old,
we know
one-eyed
from
federal
what we've heard
marshal
today
who is in
that
pursuit of her
accountability
father's
matters,
killer.
and the Inspector
The
General
two of them
investigation
stalk the
is
Allied at
at least
Choctaw
a
country,
piece of accountability.
eventually being captured by bandits before they shoot their way to freedom.
Overall, it's important
Never
to maintain
forgetting
a
for a
fully
moment,
staffed OIG
except when the
office to
marshal is
maintain
somewhat
oversight of DoD's
under the
operational
influence.
leadership.
It seems to be the case quite
This
a bit,
amendment would ensure
that
that
they must
OIGs
find and
cannot be
capture
fired
the
for political
despicable
or
killer in
personal
the name of
reasons,
truth and
allowing them to do
justice.
their job without fear or
John Wayne
favor.
probably has the best
We
role
saw
of his career
OIG
as a
firings
fat
in
old
January.
drunkard
We know
who
OIG
faces
personnel are
shootout
at
after
risk. We
shootout,
also know that
always
civilians are
protecting
being
his little
targeted for
charge.
jobs in the administration or work
14-year-old
for
Matty
OIG,
Ross.
and subservience over facts. The Inspector General Act of 1978 established independent oversight offices across various departments and agencies, including the Department of Defense. These OIGs conduct audits and investigate to detect and prevent fraud, waste, and abuse, which is a stated goal of this administration. The purpose of the IG, the primary goal is to improve the efficiency and economy of government operations by providing independent oversight of federal agencies. Independence is a critical aspect of this. While IGs report, they also have a degree of independence to conduct their work without undue influence and interference.
Oh, congratulations! Hey, is that the dude with Kamikaze?
That
Is this right here?
venues of how
Pat,
we receive our information. That's
Pat, is this the 5-star recruit?
have independent
Hey,
IGs
don't run away!
function in each department
Don't
agency.
run away!
IGs have various powers, including the ability to conduct
How do you get to Congress so fast?
and access agency records. IGs play a critical role in preventing and detecting fraud, waste, and abuse, promoting economy and efficiency, and ensuring agencies are held to
Oh, Vindman.
accountable to the
That's
public.
we have more than
The
two? I thought we just had the two, like the Ukrainian refugees
That's why
handling our
it's
national
critical that we
security and
support
decision making.
IGs and prevent them from being politicized.
No wonder we hate Russia so much.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes himself. Once again, this amendment unnecessarily restricts the President and the Secretary of Defense from managing DoD personnel. I oppose all amendments that place unnecessary limitations on the President and the Secretary of Defense's authority to dynamically manage their workforce. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Garamendi.
Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member and members of the committee, I do not believe we can do our job of oversight, and even before oversight, our job of directing policy, creating policy. What direction should the Department of Defense go? What should it be doing? Should it do this? Should it do that? Should it do neither? We do not, despite an absolutely terrific staff, some of whom are behind me, others behind other members here at the top row and then at the table, we depend upon Inspector General. They have been there day after day. They specialize in specific sets of issues, and they do their report, and then that
I'm in a
report
meeting.
could be classified.
If you want to go have a Coke and popcorn,
And it
play
gives us
board
the
game later,
information
that's
that
fine.
we must have to set policy. It's not a matter of the president doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or headsex doing the right thing or wrong thing by reducing the number of IGs out there. This is for us. This is for the American taxpayer. These IG specialists are absolutely critically important. I know from my 15 years here, I don't have a clue what's going on until I read an IG report. Maybe some general will retired or otherwise come by and, wow, that's interesting. But I depend upon the IG reports. And then that leads to additional questions. It is fundamental to our work of establishing policy and then the oversight of the existing policies. I cannot understand why any member of this committee, Democrat or Republican, would accept a situation in which half of the IG staff disappears. We cannot do our job without that information. Mr. Vindman is correct. And all of us ought to be jumping up and down and saying, yes, bring them back. Make sure these people are there. Make sure that that experience, that knowledge is available to us. Waste, fraud, and abuse doesn't mean a good goddamn thing unless we have the knowledge to go with it. It's just 3 words and a talking point. It's critically important that we have the information. And often, not always, but often it comes from the IG. Mr. Vindman, don't ever give up on this. It's critically important. Any chance you get, drive this
Spencer,
issue.
2001,
And those of us that care about waste,
Spencer,
fraud, and abuse will be with you.
GEMBH. That's like a good
Gentleman
one.
yields back here on
Spencer Productions Limited.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
rights
Chairman.
reserved.
There's a series of amendments here all surrounding personnel, which can sort of make it sound
2021, United Kingdom.
and boring, that we're like quibbling over exactly how to handle personnel. And I just want to make sure everyone knows how
Neon and Topic Studios present
unprecedented
a
what the Trump
comp
administration
vision
has
film,
done to personnel is,
Abula,
and the fundamental
shoebox
threat that
film,
it poses to civil
production
service, the
association
very
with
concept that we are a nation of laws, not of individuals. We have
film
seen across the board, not just at DOD, obviously in a more dramatic
formation
fashion
routine,
in other places in our
a
civil service,
Pablo
a direct
Lorraine,
attack on civil service.
Kristen
And
Stewart,
basically the goal of the
Spencer,
effort is to
Timothy
terrorize them.
Spall,
Certainly
with
there's been thousands of
Sean
firings
Harris and
across
Sally
the board
Hawkins,
with very little reason given, but you have to
something
get at some
clear,
of the specifics. Some people
Mascon.
have been fired, weeks later been given a notice that
It's
they
the
are
Guy
allowed
Hendricks
back in, weeks
guy,
after that, fired again.
editor
They have been
Sebastian
given a level of
Sepulveda.
uncertainty that has made it very difficult for them to do their jobs. I
Yeah.
remember one case where someone was fired,
The marriage of Princess Diana,
but then
Kristen
told
Stewart,
that their
and
health
Prince
insurance
Charles,
was no
Jack
longer
Harding,
active,
has long
even though they were
since
still
grown
paying
cold.
for their health
Though
insurance.
rumors of affairs
Tens of
and of
thousands
divorce
of workers
abound,
have been
Mrs.
treated this
ordained
way.
for the Christmas
So
festivities
we've also
at
seen
the
at
Queen's
DOD the firing of the
Sandra
inspector
Haynes,
generals, the firing of
and
the
Hadrian,
judges,
no,
the firing of the force
Sandringham
it's hard to
estate,
say exactly which
for
one is
eating
the
and
most
drinking,
egregious
shooting and
case,
hunting.
but the
Diana
firing
knows
of
the
the
game,
dual-hatted
but this year
NSA
things will be
cyber
profoundly
commander chief,
different.
Mr. Hawk, is
Spencer
perhaps
is
the
an
worst
imagining of
warlord
what
who
might
showed
have
up at
happened
the White
during those
House,
few fateful
said,
days.
this guy might not be trusted, despite the fact that he has enjoyed years of bipartisan enthusiastic support. He was fired, and as far as I know, has not yet been replaced. What the Trump administration is trying to do is strip any check on Trump's power. this occur.
Charles
This
A.
focuses
Jones business.
specifically on inspector generals.
4:30
because I
p.m.
mentioned
Goals
a
for
whole
rest
lot
of
of other people
2029.
in the federal government have been terrorized in this way. And as I alluded to earlier when we were talking about the problem
Start
with the
e-business.
Secretary of Defense using a signal chat for secure
Begin ES in
communications,
nuclear
yes,
engineering.
there is an
Take
acting
PETA
inspector
lessons.
general,
Get job
but
first.
the Trump administration makes it clear
Build $10,000
loyalty
in
is the
savings.
one and only
Cha-ching!
test that is going to
Mission
apply for you
accomplished.
to keep your job. Are we
Start
going
blog.
to be able to continue to rely
Do
on
not
these
spoken on
independent
Marte.
reports in the way we
Get
have in the
yourself out there.
past?
Become more proficient in
Clearly not.
Spanish.
So I think this
Participate in
committee should
Thanksgiving
exercise
weekend
its oversight
marathon.
authority to say civil service still
Maintain
matters.
160 pounds in
Laws
body
still
fat.
matter. We still need oversight. Now, the IG amendment here, I think,
Land,
is the one that does
well-paying,
work from this point.
fulfilling
But
job.
all
Clean
these
out
amendments
old
are crucial
wardrobe.
on that
Fix
front.
car brake
I
light.
support them all, and I
Get
urge the
promoted to
committee
E6.
do so as well.
Develop more
Does any
computer
other
skills.
member seek recognition on the amendment?
Do business what?
There's no further
Products.
debate on the, then the
Maca
question
pills
occurs on
from
the amendment
Peru.
offered by Mr. Bindman. So many
Research
in
other
favor will say
supplements.
aye. Those opposed, no.
And this is,
Chair, the noes have it. A
oh my
recorded vote is
goodness.
requested. A recorded vote will be postponed. All right, for everybody's situational awareness,
Build
we're
web page.
going to take
Section for
three more
blogs and
amendments. We're
products.
going to take the Takuda amendment, the Strickland amendment,
Do
and
my
the
own,
Moulton
learn
amendment.
HTML.
At the end of the Moulton
Find
amendment, we're going to
distributor.
take a series of recorded votes.
Offer free ebooks.
So staff and members,
Supplements.
you might start migrating
Energy
back
saving
into the
tips,
chamber.
health
At
tips,
the
and
end
meditation.
of the Moulton amendment, when we do the recorded votes, we will then break for supper.
Stay away from women.
So
They lead
that's
to
what our
stress.
plan is. Now let's turn
Blog
to
topics.
blog
Why
number
I am
5162,
conflicted about
R1 by
HC reform.
Takuda.
Alternative medicine versus Western. Declutter your life and mind.
Lady from Hawaii seek recognition.
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Will the clerk please distribute the vote without objection, the reading of the amendment?
Ruby!
Here, and I recognize this young lady from Hawaii for the purpose of explaining her amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment would suspend for calendar year 2026 the
Give
unfair,
yourself a
punitive,
raise.
and
Cut back on
counterproductive
expenses.
surcharge that the commissary applies to select veterans with shopping
By cutting
privileges.
back on
These
expenses, you
include
give
veterans
yourself a
with
raise.
service-connected
Benefits of
disabilities,
meditation.
veterans with Purple Hearts, and former
Third
prisoners
BS
of war,
new
veterans who are Medal
engineering.
of Honor winners, and
Contact and
caregivers of
visit career
veterans.
counselor at
They have
CSUS.
already paid a high
Thomas
price
Edison.
in blood, in battle, in broken bodies,
Grant.
and sleepless nights. Well over 5 million veterans are eligible to shop
Oh
at the
my goodness.
commissary and would benefit from removing
Oh,
the
that
surcharge.
email don't work
While
anymore.
this surcharge might
ATT.net.
seem small to some, about 1.4%, it's not the
Marathon.
right
Look
way
at
to treat
training
the
Rex.
people who
Begin
served
5
this
miles
nation in
at
uniform and in some
McKinley 3
cases
times
at
a week.
great personal sacrifice. Sadly, we also know
Oh,
that 1
computer
in 3
skills.
disabled
Ubuntu.
veterans are food
Web
insecure
builder.
and going hungry
HTML.
as we speak. Furthermore, it's actually
CompTIA
counterproductive to the
Security
goal of
Plus
attracting
Network
new
Plus A Plus.
customers and increasing sales
Look
for
at
the commissary.
there's my training
Increased
schedule.
sales
I
are
actually did
critical to the
I got I
sustainability
did
of the
I did a
operation
15
and to
mile. I
address
did a
the
half
commissary's
marathon on
large
my
facilities
34th birthday.
backlog. While my
Was
amendment
it my
can't be
34th
adopted
birthday?
this year due to a budgetary point of order,
Yeah, I did
I hope
15
that I
I
can
did
work with
15
this
miles at
committee and
McKinley
members
Park
on both sides of the
on my
aisle
birthday.
going forward to permanently eliminate this surcharge. These brave men and women didn't hesitate to sacrifice for us. We also must not hesitate to stop this shameful nickel and diming of our veterans who have paid a very high price for our freedoms. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I withdraw my amendment.
Gentlady withdraws her amendment. We will now consider log number 5110,
I do things.
by Ms. Strickland. For what purposes, gentlady from Washington, seek recognition?
I have an amendment at the desk, Mr. Chair.
Will the clerk please distribute the
What can I do
amendment
tomorrow,
without
September
objection,
8th,
the reading of the
that will
amendment?
further
Dispense
some of
with
my
the chair.
goals?
I recognize the gentlady from
Your number
Washington
one
for the purpose of
priority is acquiring a
Mr.
job so you
Chairman,
can
I am
afford to
offering
live.
a simple amendment
Physical
to
fitness is also
prohibit
important and
nepotism
can be
in the
addressed.
Department of Defense.
Wake up
I
early
want
and
to
go
say
to
at
the
the
gym.
outset that it's unfortunate
30
that I
minutes
have to
on
offer this
treadmill and
amendment.
30 minutes
Federal law
elliptical.
prohibits
Be sure to do
nepotism.
100
A
crunches on the rubber
1967
ball and
federal
50 push-ups.
nepotism law prohibits
Later you can
government
bring your
officials
Ubuntu
from
laptop to the
hiring,
coffee
promoting,
shop,
or
work
recommending
on a cover
relatives
letter,
to take a
resume, and
civilian
do a job
position for
search.
which they exercise
It
any
in
control.
calling
But
a
unfortunately, the
state
Secretary of
advisor.
Defense either thinks he is above the law, or he simply needs another reminder that we should not hire our immediate family members, including siblings or spouses, to work for you or report to you in any way. Pete Hegseth's brother has an office
I
at
can't.
NOAA,
I
and
feel
the Department
personally
of Defense,
attacked.
as we know, handles
Are
some of the
you
most
going after
sensitive issues
America?
of national security.
Did America
It is
lose your
deeply
visa?
concerning that the Secretary of Defense's
America is
is
my
so
sister-in-law
important that he included his wife and his
via my
brother
wife's
in an
brother.
unsecured
America
signature
is from
where
Mexico.
sensitive operational details were being shared. And while the Pentagon has
Yeah.
stated that the secretary's wife
District
never, quote,
Marketville
attended a meeting where sensitive
Company
information was discussed,
LLC.
that's actually
Tarjeta State
contradicted by
Tabasco.
widespread press reporting.
How to start
And here's why this
LLC.
matters.
Website.
Nepotism prioritizes personal
Review.
relationships over qualifications, skills, and capabilities.
Renew
And
Life
by
Now.
a Republican
I don't think
definition
I
of
ever.
DEI,
And again,
another
things go
headset
hectic
DEI
sometimes.
hire.
Source
When
plant that
Secretary Hexet was
manufactures
sworn
already
in, he
bottle
sent a message to the
label
force which said
information about
DoD
Maca.
standards will be, quote, high, uncompromising, and clear. The Secretary's use of
Step 2,
unqualified
letting
people
go.
as his closest confidants
Right now, I
demonstrates every
feel
single day
like
that he's not
crying
holding
about
himself to the standard
my
that he
lack of
demands of
focus.
others. What
Last week I
message
had
does
the
it send
sense
to
of
the troops?
purpose and of clarity. Today
Making
my
it crystal
thoughts are
clear
muddled.
to this Department
I
of
do not
Defense
love my
and to
goals.
every administration
I
after
do
this
not
that
have
such
my
behavior
goals
is
for
unacceptable
today
is
or
the
the
right
week
thing
to
to do.
climb.
It does not matter who's in the
Week
White
of
House. It does not matter who's Secretary of
9/14
Defense. This
through
should be a
the
nonpartisan
20th.
issue. I urge everyone to vote
Organized
yes on this
apartment.
amendment, and I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Ice boxes and
Gentlelady
closet
yields
back
back.
and
Chair now
forth.
recognizes himself. I agree that
My 3 treats.
nepotism is not good.
Yeah, I'm
It's not
taking
good
that first one
government,
off.
which is why I support the nepotism laws
Run,
currently
run,
in
run.
place. Federal law
Thursday and
5
Saturday.
USC subsection
Right,
3110
fixed resume,
already
right cover
prohibits a
letter,
federal official, including a member of Congress, from
and
appointing,
resume.
promoting, or
I'm
recommending for
inserting
appointment
that
or
in my
promotion
thought
any
bubble.
relative of the official or any agency or department over which the official exercises authority or control. This restatement of the
Bolt.
law is simply a vehicle to attack the
Accomplished.
president. What it
Manpower.
does do,
Apple One.
however, is prevent the
Career
sons
builder.
and daughters
A
of military
monster.
officers or other appointed officials from serving their country. For example, the enlisted child of the 101st Airborne Commanding General would be restricted from serving in that unit. That's not acceptable.
September
For those
16th.
reasons, I oppose the amendment.
Things I could be
Any other
doing when I am
members?
doing
Mr.
nothing.
Whitesides of California,
Spanish,
for amendment.
Spanish, Spanish, Espanol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and
Resistance
thank you,
band.
Mrs. Strickland, for offering. I wish this
Brainstorm.
amendment wasn't necessary, but it
Creating
is.
business.
Let's be clear, the Department of
Organizing
Defense
my
runs
clothes
on
and
discipline,
uniform.
not on dynasties. The Secretary has made a lot of noise about wanting to run his department based on merit, not on immutable characteristics, but he's not applied that same standard to himself and his family. He's employed his own brother, a podcaster without substantive government or policy experience, in an important role at the department. If the top civilian official disregards basic norms against nepotism, it sends a corrosive message down the ranks that connections matter more than conduct. This isn't about one family, it's about the future of civilian leadership. If we don't draw a line now, we're opening the door to politicized, unaccountable, family-run decision-making structures at the top of our nation's most powerful and important institutions. Make no mistake, good governance is built on norms that prevent conflict of interest. Nepotism erodes public trust, weakens morale, and creates vulnerabilities in decision-making that foreign adversaries can exploit. And let's be honest, it doesn't stop at the foreign risk. We have protocols for a reason. Nepotism introduces chaos into command. When family members are involved in informal
This is
decision-making,
Goldman
especially
Sachs.
without relevant expertise
This is
or
Goldman
experience,
Sachs. You
it
can't have a
creates
family
confusion,
business.
duplication, and risk. This amendment shouldn't be partisan nor
They're going for
controversial.
family
In fact,
businesses.
it protects the secretary as well. It protects him
September
and future
18th.
secretaries from
How
being
can I
pressured or
serve the
tempted
ceremony?
to involve family
This will be my
inappropriately.
last one
It
for a
strengthens
while.
the office by
What can I
clearly
pray for?
underlying its
The
ethical
last one I
boundaries and will
asked
increase
for
the American people's
spirit,
trust
and they
in this
came.
institution.
Just
I urge
milling
my
about.
colleagues to support this
I did
amendment
not
and yield
engage
back.
with them.
Gentleman yields
Tonight
back.
I shall
Any
once
other
again
members
ask
seeking
them to
recognition
come,
for the Strickland
as
amendment?
I shall ask for one of my spirit
There's no
animals
further debate. The
for
question
help.
occurs on the amendment offered by
I
Ms.
know the
Strickland.
hawk
So many
is
as are in
one,
favor will say
as
aye.
is the puma.
Those
They
opposed,
each have
no.
something to offer me.
Opinion chair, the
But
noes
which
have it.
do I need
Corrected
more?
as requested.
The
Recorded
vision
vote
of the
is
hawk or the
postponed.
instincts of the puma?
I now,
Perhaps I need the strength and cunning of a puma more at this
yeah, we're
point in
about
my
to consider
development.
the Moulton Amendment.
But
So
how
I
do I
urge all
serve the
members who are in
ceremony?
their offices
By
to
being
start
one with
making
it,
their way back to the
harmony,
chamber.
and
Because at the conclusion of the Moulton Amendment, we will have a
harmony,
series of recorded votes.
harmony,
But also, I want Mr. Moulton to have a
honoring
fulsome
it
audience with a
appropriately.
compelling argument that
It
he's
is a
about to
sacred
make
work. It
on
requires
this
your
very important
participation,
amendment.
not control,
We now
but your
consider law
submission to
number
it.
5407R4 by Mr. Moulton. For what purpose is the gentleman
September
from Massachusetts
19th.
seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, to quote
What
a
did I
widely
learn last
compelling
night?
and important amendment of the
I learned the importance of ritual.
The clerk will please
So much is
distribute
faded
the
like a dream,
document.
and yet it is so
Without
evil.
objection, the reading
A
of
running
the
theme of my
amendment
experience is
dispense with.
someone
Chair
was
now
working
recognizes
on
the
my
gentleman
third
for the
eye.
purpose of
Last
explaining
night
the amendment.
was a doctor
Thanks,
with
Mr.
his
Chairman. And
drill
before I get
saying
started, I
he
want
has
to
to
take a
work
moment to
fast.
thank my colleague, the
At
gentleman
one
from New
point, I was
Jersey, Ms.
watching
Farrell, for her
performance
leadership
and
on
had
this
to
issue.
remember
Her
my
work
intent
helped
to
make this
use my
amendment
Kuma.
stronger, and I'm grateful for
The
it,
scene
always.
lowered to reveal
Donald
my
Trump and Pete
Kuma,
Hegseth have claimed
waiting
that
for
meritocracy is
my
back at the
to
Department of
acknowledge
Defense.
it.
We've heard the
I
argument for
was being
meritocracy
given
several
another
times
lesson
throughout
on how
today.
to use the
But last
realms
month,
of the
during his
unconscious,
testimony to the
which
House
will
Armed Services
continue in
Committee,
other
Secretary
ceremonies,
Hegseth
providing
couldn't
I
even tell me
continue to
how many
purify
generals he had
myself in
fired,
tending to
with
ritual
hate, by the way,
and serving
let
the
alone
experience.
name them, or tell me what a single one
September
of them would be.
22, 2009.
Is it meritocracy
Today
to
is
fire
Tuesday,
General
September
C.Q.
22,
Brown, possibly the
2009,
most
2
qualified
p.m.
Air
in the
Force
afternoon.
officer I've ever met?
There are many
Deep
things
and
I can be
opaque on
doing, and
experience
yet I
built
am
prior to
sitting
him
at Gaba
commands at the
City
four-star level,
waiting for
leadership on
girls to walk
modernization,
by.
and
Right
profound
now, I'm
bipartisan
using the
respect,
excuse of
including
not
from this
being
committee,
able
just
to
because he
log
apparently
on the
talked
web
about
as
his
my
experience of
excuse
being black in the
for
military.
inaction.
Is
I
it
have my navy
meritocracy
blue to
to fire
corporate
General
gray
Hawk,
volume in
the
front of
commander
me.
of U.S. Cyber
It
Command,
has
who served
many
his country
companies listed,
professionally,
and I
honorably, and
do know
apolitically for more than 33 years,
like
because
engineering
apparently Laura Loomer told Trump she didn't like him?
stuff.
Is it meritocracy to
Groceries,
attempt
lettuce,
to fire
tomato,
the three
bread.
judge advocate generals
Apply
of
for
the
jobs.
service, advocates general of
Load
the
up
services,
Matt Fury on iPod.
unsuccessfully, by the way, because you didn't even know that one of those positions was empty, and without having ever had a conversation with any single one of those career service
September
members?
23, 2009.
Secretary
Think,
Hegseth's
why am
courage
I
is
so
not
tired?
about merit, it's about
I
loyalty
slept
and
okay last
ideology,
night.
and that is
This is in
utterly
the past. I
inconsistent
I
with
have not been
democracy.
sleeping okay.
Our service members swear their oath to the Constitution
Not
of
a
the
full
United
8
States.
hours, but enough
All of us
where
who
I
have
should
taken it
not
know
be
that
so
oath is
drained.
sacred.
Just
And only
rub it nicely
dictators
by
or
my
would-be
neck and
kings
eyes.
demand personal loyalty
That
from their
seems to
generals,
help.
not the
Perhaps it is
president or
because this
democracy.
week has been so full of
Dismissing an officer
inaction
should
that I
either
do
be because
not
of failure to
feel
uphold that
progression.
oath, or
No
because
action
that
on
officer
cleaning
has
my
failed to carry
Harvey,
out the duties and
my car,
responsibilities of the office.
was my
These
car.
dismissals have been neither. They are nothing
Tidy.
short of an attempt
No
to
action on
politicize
getting my
our
apartment
military.
tidy.
A politicized military, a politicized general or flag officer corps is a danger to our democracy, and I don't say that lightly. A military built to be loyal to a party or a
freeze on the camera again.
puts the guys with the guns on the side of his politics. And then democratic politics becomes an uneven playing field because people are afraid to oppose the other side. That's untenable for our military. Republicans have spent years decrying the politicization of the military. It's shocking.
No, something wrong with the camera.
Now that it's actually occurring.
Probably
My
overheated.
amendment does not limit the president's constitutional and democratic right to remove an officer. That's essential to civilian control of the military. It simply says that the secretary needs to provide us with a statement of cause after the fact.
I have 3 bills waiting for payment. Insecurity on finances. Have not organized clothes. Worried about Dad, Adam, Heather, and Uncle Mike. Yet I have been good with not drinking during the week. I have submitted my EDD and have been doing my running.
10 U.S.C. 601 states the president designates positions of importance and responsibility.
September 28, 2009. Good start to Monday. I ran my 3 miles, paid my SMUD, and got a call back from Jim Palumbo, little by little, to do PG&E ATT. Create technical resume for Teledyne and email it to Mr. Palumbo. What are some other things I can organize and plan around? Teledyne still around?
The staffs of the various members who are not in the chamber, have your boss get back to the chamber, because at the conclusion of this, we're going to have a series of recorded votes, and we need everybody here. With that, I will now recognize Ms. Sherrill of New Jersey.
What is going on with my
Thank you,
webcam?
Mr. Chairman. On February 21st of
Is there a
this year,
short? Maybe you have a
President
short
Trump
in there or
and Secretary
something.
Hegseth made the unprecedented decision of removing 2 members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, C.Q. Brown, and Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, were capable and experienced leaders with 75 years of combined military service, and they were fired without cause or even an explanation. This amendment today would change that. It would require the president to submit
Teledyne Technologies.
to Congress to remove
Everywhere
any
you
senior
look.
general or flag officer. As far as I can tell, the only difference between General C.Q. Brown and Admiral Franchetti and their colleagues is that C.Q. Brown is black and Lisa Franchetti is a woman. We don't have an explanation
What kind of woman?
for the administration for why they were removed. And when I posited
Is she a Chinese woman?
that I just listed, Secretary Higgs
That's like two.
did not even
Brown only has one.
So even if some of my majority colleagues believe that General Brown and Admiral Franchetti
Yep.
should
Sorry,
have been
Brown.
removed,
She can check 2 check
I
boxes.
hope they would agree that Congress needs to at least be given an explanation. The Joint Chiefs of Staff are our military's top leaders, overseeing their respective services and directly advising the President and the Secretary of Defense
Oh,
on
corporate
everything from
responsibility.
operations to man, train, and
Why do they only have like
challenges. And leaving
what
those
happened in
positions
2008 that
unfilled
they
is a
like
serious
don't have
risk to
anything?
national security, depriving our military of experienced leadership and slowing down the decision-making process. In fact, we still don't even have a confirmed Chief of Naval Operations because President Trump waited 4 months to select a new nominee after firing Franchetti. This committee regularly discusses the importance of shipbuilding and modernizing our Navy, but for the last 5 months, we have not even had a Chief of Naval Operations.
Wait, was that
There are
FLIR?
real national security consequences
Oh,
to
bug
any
system.
Chiefs of Staff, a combatant commander, or other senior officer. And if a president is going to make such a monumental decision, they owe this committee and the rest of Congress an explanation. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair, I recognize the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Frank.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do oppose the amendment of my friend from Massachusetts. As we know, each flag officer serves at the pleasure of the President of the United States, and each president has a duty to ensure that his military leadership is in alignment with his administration's national defense strategy. And because of this, it is normal to expect turnover in military leadership at the start of each new administration. New strategy priorities might require new leaders to execute the Commander-in-Chief's plan to ensure national security. It's not like President Trump is the first Commander-in-Chief to fire flag officers. President Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and President Obama all fired military leaders over strategy disagreements. All this amendment does is politicize decisions that should be made on merit alone. This is about the president having trust in the decisions his military leaders will make, not job security for officers. I urge my colleagues to reject this dangerous amendment, which would not be offered but for Donald Trump being the current Commander-in-Chief. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Vindeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is truly a compelling and important amendment. Everything that the chair said about the president's power to appoint his officers is true, but that is not mutually exclusive with the president doing it for a proper purpose. And as opposed to what my colleague just said, Mr. Frank, there is nothing normal about the firing of 8 senior officers, including all of the senior judge advocates and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff, Chief of Naval Operations. There is nothing normal about that. Our general officers and flag officers are nonpartisan patriots who swear an oath to the Constitution. That should be their only loyalty, not to the President of the United States. Service members serve regardless of party, background, race, or creed. It is perhaps one of the most American institutions precisely because it demands loyalty, honor, and respect based on one's shared quality, love of country. And this keeps us safe because merit is the measure of advancement above all other qualities. That is why it's deeply
Yes, Vindeman.
Defense fired 8 generals and flag
It is very nice to know that you do not listen to Zelensky.
The Senate confirms all general and flag officers to their rank, and the Constitution is clear that Congress, that this is a congressional prerogative. The Secretary and President owe Congress, the American people, an explanation why they fire America's finest. Decades.
I know that you want Vindeman.
Apart from family.
But do you want Vindeman?
Laura Loomer and her insane whim.
Oh, you want Laura Loomer?
The driving principle behind the firing of a force.
Do you want that sweet sticky icky?
Or concerns that they would follow unlawful orders? Maybe that's the reason. They want blind obedience and loyalty. We just don't know. This common sense. This amendment from my friend from Massachusetts would fix that. Congress and the American people deserve to know that our military remains nonpartisan and loyal to the
Take it away now. Teledyne Vision Solutions.
And the American people, and not to the President of the United States. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Tran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I am proud to join my colleague Rep. Moulton as a co-sponsor of this amendment requiring written justification from the
Ladybug, high accuracy spherical imaging.
Secretary of Defense before the removal of certain general and flag officers from the military. When President Trump abruptly fired several high-ranking military leaders earlier this year, Congress received no reasonable justification that actions or performance were cause for removal. The decisions were purely political and made without regard for the strategic impact on our military readiness or the loss of important institutional knowledge. Back in February, when the Trump administration began mass layoffs of federal employees, I introduced the Protect Veterans Jobs Act to ensure that any veterans who served our country were immediately reinstated. Today, I endeavor to prevent more indiscriminate layoffs from happening in the first place. Congress must assert itself. This amendment is necessary to ensure that President Trump does not further gut our senior military leadership simply because they were acting out of loyalty to the Constitution, not a wannabe cake. Our military leaders deserve our support.
Oh, 19 Franklin drop. Well, it is hot. I don't have air conditioner. Well, that's what weak people. Anyway. Don't, I come here, and I talk about, you get out country, you get out country. You get out country, you call the 19 program. You get out from the fella in my country now. You refuse to play the HR, Chief. You're playing the HR. I'm waiting, Tiffany Anderson. I got so many